You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, the AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Microsoft Innovation Podcast. Today we're heading to Ireland to meet someone who's working with AI. Please welcome Frank, an application engineer with Competition Team Ireland and one of the sharpest minds demystifying Microsoft Copilot right now. Frank unpacks how Copilots are transforming real work, cutting through the hype to show practical, actionable AI for professionals who can't afford to be left behind. From building custom Copilots and low-code tools to rethinking how developers write, debug, and ship code, he's got the front-end seat to what is happening in this AI shift inside the Microsoft ecosystem. With that, welcome to the show, Frank.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on, and I'm keen to get your insights. Just off air, you just mentioned that you've done a presentation recently to a large customer around AI. What was it about? What was your focus of that presentation?
Well, a lot of people kind of don't know what these agents are all about, you know. They're hearing AI agents talking to AI agents, and I got the opportunity to speak in Dell Technologies. It's Centre of Excellence here in Cork. And we had 80 people in person, which was great, you know. And so I'd done a kind of mix of some slides for people that were entry level, you know, kind of. And then I done two simple demos, you know, retrieval agent and a task agent with Copilot Studio. And yeah, we had loads of questions at the end. It was, you know, super.
When you think about practical AI, what are you seeing? Where are you seeing it practically applied, and what are you encouraging?
I see a lot of Gen AI. I know people are using it for, you know, making up pictures and generating documents and stuff like that. The autonomous agents are a bit more advanced, you know, but I think, you know, it will come eventually, you know. The way things are coming at us so fast now, it's like, whoa, you know. But when you see stuff like agents going to be talking to other agents, it's like, oh, what's going on here? Like, cool stuff, yeah.
How is it affecting coding in the developer landscape?
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of stuff about developers now, isn't there? You don't know what to believe, like the percentage. Like I heard one thing there last week that it could affect 80% of them. I see they've introduced it to GitHub there recently. And, you know, you just go in and type a prompt and tell it what you want, and it's like all the code is in front of you. You just edit what you want, you know. It's amazing stuff.
What do you think the impact is on professionals? You know, people, whether they are, you know, developers is one side of the professional landscape. Then there's, you know, what Microsoft for some time has called information workers, people that are doing a lot of, you know, office-based work, which potentially AI agents, etc., are going to be able to do these things that people do. What do you think the impact is from your perspective?
But I think the take-up is going to be very slow. You know, people are kind of saying AI is coming at us fast, and wherever companies are kind of saying, hey, hold on a minute, you know, we're not going to leave these co-pilots run roughshod over our whole business. Like, we want to take it easy here and maybe, do pilot projects first to see what will happen. And with large companies like, the likes of Dell Technologies now, where they've got something like over 100,000 employees, it's going to be slow.
How do we, though, that are in tech, how do we maintain our skill set moving forward?
I think the knowledge base is very low at the minute, companies are not kind of getting out there and training up their employees, opening up to AI and stuff like that. Even the fundamentals like AI 900, there's not a big take up on it, I think there's a lot of people are nervous about it, kind of, this is AI, it's very complex, Last year, I went to our local office to do the AI 900 myself, AI 900. And look, I'm in my 50s, I'm walking in the door, this young guy in his 30s, seeing me coming in doing an exam, is like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, so I says, it's AI, we have to learn it, open your mind, go and learn it.
Do you think the generations coming through or entering the workforce are going to get the level of kind of, the junior training? Like when I started my IT career, I started with how to build a computer, how do networks work, and did things like, CompTIA, A+, and things like that, where I suppose the people entering the tech workforce nowadays are not going to necessarily have the opportunity to do either like level 1 support on help desks, because that's probably going to get taken over by agents in time, and level 2 support. So how do we ultimately get to senior professionals in 10 years' time after this technology is bedded in and all those roles of kind of those junior roles don't exist anymore?
Yeah, but we had the thing here in this country, they were short of people in IT, and they started all these courses like fast track to IT, kind of cut out all the stuff like we kind of learned, like building the PC, putting the right RAM in and all this kind of stuff. They bypassed all that and just brought them up to another level, It's, kind of cut out all that stuff, Like I remember when I was in IT college, and they were learning stuff like, CMOS, like complementary metal oxide semiconductor. What do you want to know all this kind of stuff for, this is the MOSFET, it's a chip on the board. What do you want to know all that stuff? So I think they'll kind of bypass all that stuff and maybe just get them in on board and just learn the stuff that they need to learn,
Besides AI, what's your main focus from a tech side of things?
I run a show there every week. I know you see my LinkedIn there. You use the Azure and AI show, and I kind of two women actually. They just got their MVPs over the line this month, and we're celebrating it this evening. This morning here in Ireland. You're probably evening over there. But we had Sina Khan and Emilia Hernandez. They got their MVP, two women in tech, and we run the show every week, and give an opportunity for people to come on and kind of talk and kind of they can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to get their confidence up and wherever like that. And I also like on that that's a weekly show, it's the Azure and AI show. And we have people from the US, India, Africa, the UK, from all over. Like Sina Khan is from Bahrain. So some weeks we might have 12 people on, and we stream out through StreamYard. StreamYard? Yeah. So we could be out through YouTube, 6 LinkedIn live things, whatever. So the first Thursday of every month, then we have another show, a monthly show. It's called Journey to the Cloud. and that's open. That's open for anything, and anybody can join and whatever. We don't keep it to kind of technology. We can open it up to anything. Like we had one week there, we had somebody on, talking about mental health. This kind of day and age. There's so much coming at people that people can't cope. It's
Yeah. And how long have you been in the MVP program?
This is my first year. I just became an MVP in October, and it's M365 Copilot. So I was doing a lot of kind of demos in kind of, how Copilot works in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, those sort of things. It's amazing, yeah. And the Excel one is very exciting because they've built in Python into it, and you don't even have to know how to code. You can just go in and hit a button, and the whole Python runs across Excel, and it'll give you all the insights from your data. It's brilliant.
Interesting. And are you seeing then in the demos that you're doing, are you seeing businesses see how they're going to start using tools like Copilot in their work?
I think it's more individuals are using it than actually companies, because I think the licenses are a bit expensive, for 20 euros or $20 a month, which is 240. So if you kind of give them that across, we'd say like Dell Technologies now, they've got over 100,000 employees. If you 240 do the math on that, it's expensive. Yeah. So I think if it gets if the price comes down a bit on it, maybe,
It'll be interesting to see what happens, being that I think Microsoft has invested a heck of a lot of money into the infrastructure, and of course it takes a long time for people to get on the technology before they get the economies of scale to start lowering the price. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Is there any fears out there around AI at all in the community that you're in?
I hear a lot of people talking about the energy consumption, I was at a talk there recently where there was an engineer giving a talk about at the moment the amount of energy being used globally is 1 gigawatt. So they reckon by 2028, which is kind of like about 2.5 years' time, 2 to 3 years, it's going to be up around 10 gigawatts. So what is going to happen, 2 years after that, they reckon it could be up around 100 gigawatts. That's scary stuff. Really.
Where's it going to come from, that power?
I don't know. I know. All the big tech companies like Google, Meta, in the States, they're kind of coming together and they're getting these kind of mini nuclear reactors, these small ones. So how much are they going to generate, But I think 100 gigawatts is probably way out up there. I can't imagine they'll get up to that by 2010,
Be interesting times. I think that
2030, sorry.
Who knows what will be invented in the next few years as well.
Yeah, what about the robots that Elon Musk is making? What about what are they going to be doing,
Exactly. And I mean, his ambition is that every person will have their own personal robot.
Yeah, I think it's a bit like going to Mars,
Far-fetched.
It is, yeah. But look, see how AI kind of jumped up there in the last 2 years. Amazing. I remember the first time I used the Copilot on PowerPoint, and I typed in, "Can you give me PowerPoint presentation on water conservation?" And it just gave me I think it was about 6 or 8 slides. And the first slide was kind of water flowing. It was like, gee, wow, this is fantastic, you know. And everything was, I didn't have to kind of doubt anything. Everything was right, It was showing you how to save water, how to clean water, all this kind of stuff. It was very powerful.
As we go to wrap up, how did you become an MVP? What was the process for you? Is Claire Smythe, Claire Smith your CPM?
She is, yeah, Claire Smith. So I was actually giving a talk in 2016 in Dell Technologies. I worked there for 20 years on Machine Learning Studio. Do you remember that one, Machine Learning Studio? That's kind of gone now. It's like AI is just after taking over. It's like, and it was only 9 years ago, and it's just totally gone. And there was a Microsoft person there, kind of trying to promote the MVP thing. So I said, yeah, nominate me. And then I kind of got more active in it, but I was kind of in the Azure space. I kind of watched the stock market and see what technologies were ever. And around that time, Azure doubled in 1 year. So it's like, gee, this is amazing. Like, I'll have to learn that. So I was doing that for a few years, done the certifications and whatever, and tried to get the MVP on the Azure space, but there was too many people in it. I think it was kind of packed out. So I just moved over then to Copilot because it was new and it was a bit more exciting as well. So that's how I ended up getting into the space. And I'm the first person in Ireland to get the M365 Copilot. So just
Congratulations. That's very, very good. Last thing. Any advice for other people aspiring to be an MVP?
what I get out of it is, helping people, and they're grateful for the help and wherever. There was a post on LinkedIn, if you look up there, somebody's after calling me an angel, and I says, what? I don't want to be an angel. I just want to, mentor people and help them, and they appreciate it, which is good, And Microsoft Learn, what a platform, I introduce everybody to that, It's free. They introduced a thing there not so long ago. If you're, especially for people doing certifications now, you can actually go in there and you can actually do practice exams, I done it for the AI 900 now. So they say, go in there, practice. If you get 85% 3 times in a row, you've aced the exam, And I did. I went in and, the passing score is 700. And I got 900 mark, 900. And anybody else tell, gee, I got 900. I've never seen a 900 they tell me, So it's good. And look,
very well done. Thank you.
You're never done learning. That's what I tell people, keep learning, the brain. Use it or lose it. You ever hear that saying?
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parvez, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guide.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.